Yeah, their playbook was Black people fighting in the streets all summer. They wanted a summer of violence. They wanted all those video clips of Black people being violent. And the entire Black community collectively in one voice heard their ancestors say, rest, stay home. Don't go out in the streets. They collectively heard it, and they've all listened, and it was right. They have been dealing with a apartheid fascist state for generations, even worse than an apartheid state. Like in the slavery era, that was like they have been in an abusive narcissistic relationship with the government for generations, since the first person unwillingly stepped foot on this land. They have studied their abusers, because that's what you have to do. When you are a victim to an abuser, you have to study their every movement as a form of self-protection. And they have done that. They didn't have to learn it as they go when he took power in November. They already knew. What do you do when your abuser all of a sudden you hear him walking down the hallway and his footsteps are a little bit off? His breathing's a little bit off. You hide. You go and you hide in your closet. You go out the window and run. You get somewhere safe. They have gone somewhere safe. They are not, resting is not passive. That is not passive protest. That is active protest. And it is working more than anything else that has been being done. It is more effective than I can think of anything else that is being done right now. Resting to me means staying home, saving your money, not spending your money at corporate stores, not, buying local, shopping at local stores, going to local restaurants, supporting local businesses, building community, saving your dollars. We brought down Target, and that was 100% led by Black people, by the Black community, 100%. We made Disney come to their knees with just money in a weekend. Like, that is where it hits them where they hurt. We do not need people in the streets being violent. If you feel the call to be out there marching, go march. Do what you feel called to do, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about they wanted summer of 2020 visuals, and they didn't get it. Summer's over. They never got those visuals. I guarantee they have some strategy book and they're like, summer of violence, martial law, we can bring troops in everywhere. Every time they bring troops in somewhere that is shown to be peaceful, people wake up. Every time somebody wakes up. It's a snowball. So people that are resting are literally doing the most right now. So thank you for everyone that engaged with that post and are commenting on it. Those comments are literally like, I'm glad I've introduced some people to the term gray rocking. I'm glad I've put words to what people have been feeling, and that people in the Black community are validating that, like, finally a white lady gets it. Because that literally makes me emotional. Nothing makes me more emotional than getting validation from, especially a Black woman. If you come in my comments and say, you get it, I get emotional every time. So thank you for that. Because you all know, nobody knows most besides, like, the smartest, most aware people in the world are Black women. And you will never change my mind on that. Because they have to be. And they are. So thank you for validating my last post, because that's how I've been feeling about it ever since I first saw people saying we're sitting this one out. That has meant a lot. Like, that moved me a lot.
Hey, what's up, everybody? How are you doing? I'm hoping that you are doing great from wherever you're watching me from. As you know, I'm your number one host and presenter, Agent Stories, and today's a beautiful day. Get some natural light over there. I feel good. Now, I want to say something. I'm just coming to learn that there is no such thing as white supremacy. Hold on. Before you say anything, relax. I think the word white supremacy should have been replaced by the word white insecurity, because there was nothing supreme about them. I mean, look at history. There was nothing supreme about them. All their history reveals just insecurity. The insecurity that they had towards Black people. Yes, I'll say again. It is not white supremacy. It is white insecurity. White insecurity is the feeling that somebody is going to win White people thinking that black people are going to overtake them. And now they sat down and they said, what can we do? What can we do to these people to make them be where they are? And they created something, a white playbook. The white playbook, some people call it the Willie Lynch letter. When you check history, yeah. So the Willie Lynch letter, inside the Willie Lynch letter, it states that divide black people. And how are we going to divide black people? First, create violence in the black community. They did it perfectly. Two, separate a black man from a black woman because black families were so much strong. How did they do it? One, through slavery. Two, weaponizing of a black man, making a black man become a problem. And you'll agree with me, this is still happening until right now. But we are going back to history. And that's why I'm saying it should be called a white insecurity. Because when I'm looking at history, I'm not seeing anything supreme. So brothers and sisters, I'm going to let you watch the video. And then I'll be back. I'll be sharing my thoughts in regards to this. Again, as you know, I'm your host and a presenter at GTech Stories. Let's watch the video. I'll be back.
This comment is entirely false in every regard. You're a white person who categorizes yourself as a commie. So obviously you think that protests are only effective if black people are there to be under the tank treads, right? You think that it's only a real protest if black people and the cops are there and the black folks are being brutalized by the police. This tells me all I need to know about you. Tankies want their fantasy of a bloody revolution. Forgive the Homestuck reference here, but they don't want a LARP revolution, they want to FLARP it. They want fatal live action role play, and they want the most vulnerable folks in the community to be sacrificed, to be brutalized, because they think it will bring about their authoritarian communist utopia. When I say that white tankies, white communists are not safe, and that they want authoritarianism, they just want their own flavor of it. They don't actually want liberation. They don't actually care about the most vulnerable. They don't actually care about injustice. They just care about their fantasy. This is exactly what I mean.
Hey, white people, let's talk. Sometimes I forget that white people aren't as engaged with black creators on this app and in the world as I am. So there was something over the weekend that I thought everybody was very well aware of, but I'm understanding that that's not the case. I was talking to my mom today, and she and my brother went to a protest on April 5th to protest Trump and all of the things that have been happening for the last couple of months. So she was telling me about her experience, and she said it was like a love fest. It was so nice to be with all of these people, thousands of people, and everybody signs and all this stuff. And I said to her, did you notice that there weren't many black people there, if any? And she was like, yeah, actually, I did notice, and I was confused, and I was like, I thought black people were really upset about him too, and I didn't understand. This is my mom talking. So I explained to her that 92% of black women and 80-some% of black men did what they were supposed to do back on November 5th. And they are now resting, and they are not participating in these here protests. And that there was a concerted effort for black folks to stay home yesterday on April 5th. And to be honest, I think she's still confused about the why. But I'm working on that. But do yourself a favor and follow black content creators here on TikTok, because you will learn so much, and you will be able to use your new knowledge to help educate the people that you are in proximity with. But yeah, white folks, if you didn't know, black folks said, we're not marching on April 5th. We're not doing it. We're going to stay home. We're going to let white people get us out of this mess, because white people got us into this mess.
Okay, I think I figured out why. Harmony and people is calling Black Americans cowards and carrying on because we not out there in the streets. They thought that we had no self-control. That's what they thought. They thought that when we was doing all that stuff, like in 2020 and Ferguson and Baltimore and stuff like that, and LA riots and stuff like that, it was just because we, that we're so easily provoked that as soon as somebody do something to one of us, we don't have any strategy, we don't have any type of thought process. We just go like an attack dog. They thought that we had no self-control, and us deciding to sit out and being all on one accord and being strategic and not reacting is showing a level of self-control that they did not realize that we had. They thought they didn't know about us. They thought that we are messing up their perception of us. They are having a crisis about our identity, about Black Americans' identity. Everybody is. Immigrants are having a crisis about our identity. White folks is having a crisis about our identity. They thought that they could count on us. They thought they knew us. And they never knew us because they didn't know our motivations. They didn't know what we were doing. They just saw the effects and they heard what the media said and they took it and ran with it. So even the people that was like, oh, we support you, this and that, the other thing, they thought that we were, justified, but they also thought we were uncontrollable. Because that's why they'd be like, be peaceful when you go out there. I know you got to go out there, but do it like this. Like, they think they treat us like we're children, like we are feral, unruly children. And now that we are showing them that we was doing the whole time. But now that we are showing them now, yeah, we're good. You go ahead and do that. They can't handle it. They can't handle it because it's messing up what they thought they knew about Black Americans. This whole year has been a mind fuck for them. Between us sitting out, between us delineating, we're really showing them in real time who we are. But we always knew, what they say, if you don't know, now you know.
Y'all, Black Americans are playing a cold ass game right now, and motherfuckers do not know what to do with this shit. When I tell y'all we got people lost in the motherfucking sauce, y'all. And you know what I think it is? You know why I think we got people lost? Because we all keep saying it, right? We all keep saying Black Americans have this thing where we can telepathically communicate with each other. We don't have to talk. We don't gotta do none of that. Okay? We all reading the tea leaves. We all see what's going on, and we all thinking the same thing. It's like when we don't even know each other. We just be in a room together and something happened and we'd be like, that's what we're doing. And so you got people running around like, we need to organize. Bitch, we already organized. We trying to figure out why the fuck you wasn't at the meeting. How'd you miss it? We need to plan. We need to get prepared. We already planned it. We already prepared. How the fuck did you miss it? That lets us know that something real off with you. Because how you missing all the meetings? How you not getting the downloads that the rest of us is getting? Why are you disconnected from the source? Why you ain't got the thing that we all got, right? So they still running around trying to fearmonger, trying to throw shit on the wall, trying to get us outside. We not coming outside. I don't even feel like we need to explain why we not coming outside, because I feel like anybody that's really down with Black American people know good and motherfucking well why we not coming outside. Like, I literally seen this video earlier today of this white woman, and she was explaining the whole thing. When I tell y'all that lady nailed that shit, Her whole take was completely accurate, even though I was like, come on now, you're a little too loud because you really calling the play. You need to chill the fuck out. But, we're going to let you do what you do or whatever, because hopefully not too many people see this shit. I hate to say that. I want people's content to be seen, but not that one. Okay? Because she was too accurate. of what the fuck was going on. Okay. She even used, I like to compare things to like narcissistic relationships. She said Black Americans have been in a narcissistically abusive relationship with the American government. So they know more about what is going on right now and more about what the government is doing and more about what tactics will be rolled out ahead of time, and they are already maneuvering. And she was even talking about the resting thing. She was like, they said resting, but it doesn't really mean resting, right? It's not, that's not what it means. But what it means is they not all outside with what the fuck they got going on. They not all outside talking. Okay, they know everything. Nobody needs to get up here and explain shit to them. They know more than all of us do because they have been dealing with this. She was like, basically the glimpse that we are receiving now of this system, they have seen the full head and tail of the beast a long time ago. Okay. So she was like, things that they're doing is not making sense to those who don't get it and those who cannot fathom the depths of the depravity that they have experienced and have seen. And that's what Black Americans are basically developing their strategy from. And so she was like, if anything, she was like, it's one of those situations where she's like, you know how like they say when Black people run, you run. She's like, it's like that. She's like, I'm not running until they run. They ain't running. If they not running, why the hell am I going to listen to someone telling me to run? If someone's telling me to run and I see that Black Americans ain't running, I'm going to sit the hell down. Because they know more about what is going on, but they're not vocalizing it to y'all. When honestly and truthfully, she was like, Black people shouldn't have to. They shouldn't have to. Black people shouldn't have to come out here and tell y'all what the fuck to do when really you're going to argue with them and say they don't know what they're doing or what they're talking about. She's like, because basically that's what y'all do anyway. They're resting. They're not doing anything. She's like, they're doing a whole fucking lot. It's just not on Front Street. And I was like, girl, you better talk, girl. You better talk, because that's it. We know a whole lot of what's going on. Black Americans are not stupid, dumb, deaf, dumb or blind, none of that. We know more about what's happening next than y'all do. Okay? So we trust our path. We trust our path. But Black Americans, don't y'all get caught up in this shit. It's other Black groups, other POCs trying to drag us in shit. Stick to hold the motherfucking line. I know I don't have to tell y'all that. But hold the motherfucking line, baby. Hold the line. These people trying to get us in some shit. They're trying to put the target on our back. Hell no. Hell the fuck no. We ain't going out like that. Okay? We ain't going out like that. Have a good day. We up still. And we already knew the bullshit ass tactics that they was going to do. So these people need to stop making these videos thinking that this little bullshit going to get us to come outside. No, we already knew. We know their wrath better than y'all do. We know their tactics and shit.
Hello, brothers and sisters. Welcome back to the channel. And I think you've heard what they had to say in regards to this. And I think that it's important that you learn how significant, how powerful you are. Because, and I'm glad that Black people are seeing these things right now and they recognize this. And thanks to those white people that saw to it that indeed it is because of the insecurity that they have, which is making them to divide Black people. And now they know very well that this is a playbook, the old white playbook, as they call it. As an historian, I'll call it the Willie Lynch letter. Why will I call it the Willie Lynch letter? Because it is from that time. It indicated the main intentions and what to do in the Black community, to destroy the Black community, to make Black people divided, to make the Black community become so polarized. And we can see that today happening. And you'll agree with me that it is because of the Willie Lynch letter why Black folks are fighting against themselves across the world. I'm talking about Africans, African Americans, Black Americans. I don't know the way you identify them yourself. We have ADOS, we have FBA. Man, how you identify yourself, you know. But what I'm saying, that understand that this has caused a great division to black people. It has caused a polarization even within the black Americans themselves. Black people used to fight against themselves. There was so much violence in the black community. But black people saw to it, and black people saw them very, very well. And black people treated them how? They gave them silence. They decided to keep quiet. And they say that, you know what? We are not giving you our energy. And since you thought that black people are divided, that black people cannot help fight, cannot become unified and help each other fight against you, then go check the Montgomery. What happened in the Montgomery? Was it in Alabama? I don't know. Confirm with me. Montgomery, I think Alabama. Along the shows somewhere, this white dude just started beating a black man. And there this white woman who also started beating a white man. What did he do? Take off his cape, throw it up. A black man somewhere up there sees it and says that, hold on, this brother needs help. And he runs down without thinking anything. And he joins the fight. But he doesn't join the fight like at that point. What he does, he tries to separate these people. But when he tries to separate these white folks from beating this black man, they started beating him. There's a man swimming, seeing all this happening. There are men from the other side seeing this. Before they think about it, it's a brawl. That itself shows you that black people now understand the old playbook, how they wanted it to divide black people to the extent that you remain cold, you seeing a black person being humiliated. Because there was a black man who was being humiliated over there. And if the Willie Lynch letter was working, probably black people could have been just watching, watching this happening without like doing anything. But they didn't do that. It means that the old playbook, the Willie Lynch letter, failed terribly. It failed terribly because it failed to deliver what it was meant to. Because black people now understood what was going on. And I'm proud of black people, I'm proud of who they are becoming, because they're now seeing you for who you are. They're seeing that there is nothing great about you. All these things that usually was ever said about black people was just a lie. And we all saw it coming. People didn't know that a day like this will come, when now white people will be exposed in a broad daylight, when everyone will get to know the truth. People know the truth that there was nothing great about about white people. Which brings me to one thing that I'll say it and I'll still say it. There is no such thing as white supremacy. Talk about black supremacy. Yes, because sometimes they call me a black supremacist. I've been called that. I've been asked, what do those people pay you to be a black supremacist? You African man, what do they pay you to be a black supremacist? What do you know about America? I've heard them, right? Yeah, that's the only name that you're allowed to say. Because my definition of black supremacy is black people who understand their role. It is black people who stand against humiliation, against racism, are people who fight. Those are black people. So when they say, you are a black supremacist, yeah, I'm proud of being a black supremacist. because I know what my brothers and sisters in the United States have been through. And I understand. But you tell me white supremacy. I don't know what you've done if you haven't taken it from black people and made it look like it's yours. I don't know. From music, beauty, food, everything, name it. You definitely know what I'm saying. So brothers and sisters, please let me know what you think about this video, right? As you know, I'm your host and presenter RAGED Stories, but until then, let me see you in my next video. Peace, love, and harmony. Salute.